Hey, what's up, guys? This is David Chase Taylor of 911truther.org. Today is November 16th of 2025. So, based on breaking news and events, it appears the CIA headquarters located beneath CERN at Lake Geneva in Switzerland is going to neutralize U.S. President Donald J. Trump on the date of November 17th of 2025, specifically to trigger a second civil war in the United States. So exactly how the CIA plans to neutralize Trump on the date of November 17th is obviously not known, but it is going to be related to the Epstein case files. So basically, the CIA is going to frame U.S. President Donald J. Trump for crimes he did not commit in respect to the Epstein files. So I have been writing about this for many years now, and it appears that this Epstein scandal is going to come to a head on the date of November 17th. Really quick, it's imperative to note that the number 17 equates to the letter Q, which stands for Q as in coup d'etat. It also stands for Q as in QAnon, because in the aftermath of Trump's demise on the date of November 17th, the CIA is going to stage an escalating wave of terror across the United States, which are going to be subsequently blamed on so-called QAnon members. In reality, there are going to be terror attacks executed by the CIA's Israeli Mossad in the United States and the Israeli Defense Forces, which coincidentally have a joint partnership with the Chicago Police Department. So we're likely going to see political assassinations, terror attacks, bombings start across the United States once Trump is removed from the presidency on the date of November 17th. So exactly what the CIA plans to frame Trump for exactly in respect to the Epstein case files is obviously not known, but I believe it's going to be for allegedly having sex with, texting, or sending explicit photos, or having explicit conversations, or emails, or communication with a minor. So if you follow the news, you know that Trump has successfully sued the New York Times, CBS, and now he is going to be suing the BBC for cutting up his different interviews to basically frame him for saying things which he did not say. And he has successfully litigated 2 of these 3, and now he's going to sue the BBC for upwards of $5 billion. This is designed to foreshadow the notion that the CIA is planning to clip phone conversations, text or emails, or photos or videos of Donald J. Trump in order to frame him. In order to foreshadow and set the precedent for this exact scenario, the CIA staged this sexting scandal between Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and Olivia Nuzzi, who is the editor of Vanity Fair. If you'll recall, a few months ago, Donald J. Trump was found liable last year, I believe, for alleged sexual assault against E. Jean Carroll, who was the editor of a magazine back in the 70s. So they have foreshadowed this sexting narrative, and then the ICE and the U.S. Department of Homeland Security just this week, in the last week, arrested over 150 people in Operation Dirtbag, which was targeting sexual predators. And this is designed to foreshadow that Trump is going to be arrested and or impeached or forced to resign over sexual-related acts. Then on most recently on November 13th, a former Trump supporter, former U.S. Congressman from Florida, Matt Gaetz, the New York Times wrote an op-ed about his sexual affair with a 17-year-old. And this is, again, designed to foreshadow that Trump is going to be charged, impeached, or forced to resign over sex with a minor. Then, of course, California Congressman Brad Sherman was just caught while on an airplane looking at sexually explicit photos. And then, of course, this is all leading up to the Epstein vote, which is supposed to happen on November 18th of 2025, when the U.S. Congress is going to vote to release the Epstein case files. But the CIA is planning on releasing this information on Monday, November 17th, so that there is no vote on this. So basically, Donald J. Trump is being blackmailed by Israel. This is what Candace Owens has recently latched onto, and I believe this has been going on for many years. So he's trying to protect people in his administration, namely the Secretary of Treasury, forgetting his name off the bat, but he was living adjacent to Jeffrey Epstein in New York City. It's going to come to me in a second. So I believe that there are certain people in the Trump administration, in the Trump White House, on November 16th of 2025, that have some nefarious links to Jeffrey Epstein. I believe Trump is clean, but Trump is refusing to release the Epstein files, or has thus far been against releasing the Epstein files, because it's going to decimate his cabinet. So he's trying to protect, to circle the horses, so to speak, and to protect his cabinet. But what he doesn't understand is that the CIA is planning to frame him for this relationship with an underage woman. Whether it's Virginia Giuffre, the girl that was assassinated that used to work at Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate, is not known, but it's going to be a 17-year-old or younger, because that is illegal. And evidently, Megyn Kelly was given this was given this talking point when she came out last week and stated that having sex with a 17-year-old girl is not technically not being a pedophile. Okay. Also, considering that the previous lawsuit with Trump against Stormy Daniels, which ended up with a porn star, which ended up in 34 felony counts. It was Stormy Daniels who stated, I believe, in a Playboy interview that Trump had a mushroom-shaped penis. And so I believe that there's going to be photos that they're going to claim that Trump sent via text message of his genitalia to an underage girl. This is likely going to be an interstate sex crime of exposure or something related to that. And so they're basically going to be showing pictures of Trump's genitalia, or alleged genitalia, in the next few hours. This last Saturday, November 15th of 2025, we had Saturday Night Live. They did a skit entitled Blow and Bubba. It was about U.S. President Donald J. Trump receiving a blowjob similar to Clinton. And then Alex Jones is, of course, being the CIA operative that he is. He's out stating last week that Trump didn't suck a ding-a-ling. So this is all has to do with penises, sex crimes, and underage girls. And this is all coming to fruition on the date of November 17th. Monday, when Trump is going to be charged a multi-count indictment for sex crimes involving a minor. And that is precisely why when Kendrick Lamar performed at the Super Bowl last February in front of Donald J. Trump, he sang the song A Minor, which is about a sex with a minor. So in the aftermath of Trump being charged with multiple counts of sexual-related crimes, lying to the grand jury, lying to Congress, violating his oath, and all sorts of various charges, the CIA is going to go with a five-pronged operation to remove him from power. So the most likely scenario is that they assassinate Trump under the guise of a self-inflicted suicide. We saw this with Virginia Giuffre, who allegedly suicided herself. We saw this with some French associate of Jeffrey Epstein, who was killed in his jail cell in France. And then we saw this with Jeffrey Epstein himself, who was allegedly killed in his jail cell under the guise of a self-inflicted suicide. So Trump would be suicide number 4 related to the Epstein files. And this, of course, the number 4 is the cross, as in the Swiss cross, which is the Swiss CIA, which is why Jeffrey Epstein was killed on August 10th. This is the number numerically 810 or 81, which is the Swiss National Day of August 1st. Number 2 would probably be an arrest of Trump for the aforementioned crimes. And then, of course, he would likely never ever see the inside of a courtroom, and it would likely be killed while in custody, most likely under the guise of a self-inflicted suicide, some sort of medical-related event, or having some sort of violent struggle with law enforcement or somebody in his jail cell. In the aftermath of Trump being charged with this litany of sex crimes on the date of November 17th, it's highly likely that he could be assassinated. They could claim that one of the victims' mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, cousins took matters into their own hands in a case of vigilante justice and murdered Trump. Another realistic possibility is that the CIA stages the impeachment of Donald J. Trump, similar to Bill Clinton. So this would be likely a top secret vote by the United States Congress behind the scenes, and then they would initiate impeachment proceedings. Said impeachment proceedings would likely lead to the resignation of Trump. For the betterment of the party, Trump would be forced to resign. And then J.D. Vance would likely be sworn in as the 48th President of the United States on the date of November 17th or the date of November 18th. So this entire Jeffrey Epstein case file, which will not go away because the CIA is not going to let this, they're not going to expose the case file ever, because that's going to expose the Israeli blackmail ring, which Charlie Kirk was coincidentally talking about before he was murdered by an Israeli sniper in Orem, Utah, back on September 10th. So they're never going to release this. The vote on Tuesday, November 18th, will not release the entire case file, because this will basically lay bare the Israeli intelligence stranglehold on the United States government by their basically their sexual blackmail and extortion ring that they have running, that Jeffrey Epstein was a vital part of. So they're going to continue this incessant narrative about the Jeffrey Epstein case files until they are able to remove Donald J. Trump from power. So it's going to go on and on and on, and all the talking heads are going to keep on bringing this up every few weeks, every few months, until they can remove him from power. And that appears to be slated for the date of Monday, November 17th of 2025. So in the event that Trump is suicided, arrested, assassinated, impeached, or forced to resign on or around the date of November 17th of 2025, I would kindly ask that you download this video and share with local, state, and federal law enforcement, military, and intelligence officials, as well as with local, national, and international media outlets. Peace.